All right, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bobby W223 here, and I know, I know I'm about to get some hate for this video because yes, I am about to damage control for Sony, and I know some of you guys that have been stuck to me probably like, oh, what a surprise! Oh, the PlayStation fanboy! Oh, he's damage control for Sony again. Okay, look at the last chunk of videos I came out with. Tell me which of those videos that I made recently that I dedicated to defending or damage controlling for Sony. Exactly. A lot of my more popular videos as of recent have been me doing what? Defending Nintendo. And even damage controlling for the Dreamcast because it's the best system ever created. But anyway, I've got a lot of new subscribers and all this praise for defending and damage control for Nintendo, but watch. But anyway, this is pretty much over the whole backwards compatibility thing with the PS4, and a lot of people are flipping out and hating Sony for doing this and the yada yada yada, just excuse me, just pissed off about it or whatever, right? Now look, I don't know how many of you guys know or don't know or just don't care, but going off of what Sony said, which yes, we know Sony is notorious for the bullshit, obviously bullshittery, as I call it, bullshittery. They're notorious for that, but just using those facts, going off of what they have, the information that they have given us, even though once again I know it's probably some bullshittery, but going off of what they said, the main reason why the PS4 can't play PS3 games, like the discs. I want to get to the PS2 and PS1 because it seems like most people really just care about the PS4 being able to play their PS3 disc. They said the main reason why the PS4 won't do that, which if you pay attention to the conference, they kind of explained it there too, is because of the architecture and the specs of the PS4 is so different from the PS3 that it would not work. The PS4 is not using the cell processing chip, and that is a key element. That's a key piece to being able to run, PS3 games and things of that nature. Now, I'm not a game developer. I'm not saying I know the most about specs. I'm going for what they said, and and everything. To my understanding, that is a key reason why your PS3 discs will not run on the PS4. Now, you might be asking, well, then what? They should throw the cell chip back in there. Okay, so you want all those bad third-party ports again? Because if you were paying attention to the PS4 event, that was one of the first things that they said is that they didn't literally say this, but this is basically what they meant, is that they fucked up with the PS3 in this aspect, far as third-party support and third parties really not knowing how the hell to make games for the PS3, thus all these bad ports. And they pretty much admitted that they screwed up. So they decided with the PS4 to use more over the counter PC parts, so that way it would be more easier and more familiar for third parties to make games for the PS4, so they wouldn't run into any problems making games and porting games to the PS4 like they did with the PS3, where we saw countless third-party games that were fucked up on the PS3 but not the 360. And to my fellow gamers that were mainly were and are mainly PlayStation 3 gamers this generation, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Not all, but a good ass chunk of the third-party multiplats ran worse on the PS3 than the 360. Not necessarily because the PS3 is more powerful and it's just the fact that that cell chip was so foreign to what developers were used to, on top of Sony being dumbasses and not really helping out third parties as much as they should have. No pun intended, but a lot of third parties, they could just jump into the 360 and start developing for it, whether or not Microsoft helped them, whether or not they did. It was a lot easier for them to jump into the 360, once again, no pun intended, and develop the game, and they would know what the hell they were doing because of the architecture. It was familiar. Whereas the PS3, if they just jumped into the PS3 to make a game, it was a lot more difficult because of the cell chip and et cetera, because of the way that the architecture was. And so Sony realized they couldn't do that that shit again with the PS4 because that was a mistake with the PS3. So they decided to go with more over-the-counter PC parts, basically. So that being said, the PS3 games can't work with the PS4 because things like the cell chip aren't in the PS4, so it's just not gonna work, period. That's the reason why, and honestly, I think it's more important to have games that run correctly than to have old games from 2006 and 2007 and things like that, games that we've already beaten and games that we've gotten, platinum trophies in or whatever, if the game has trophies, which most of them do now, or gotten updates or whatever. But I think it's more important to have games that run correctly on a new system and have new games, or current games, whatever you want to call it, PS4 games running correctly on your PS4 than having old games, or PS3 games, if you don't want to say the PS3 is old, but having PS3 games that you've most likely already played and be able to play that on your PS4. Now, my thing is, you're saying, oh, well, I haven't played all the PS3 games. Well, then why are you worried about the PS4? Play your PS3 games, enjoy that. Sony supports their consoles. The PS3 is not going to die this year. Just play that, and then when you're ready to jump over to the PS4, do that and play your PS4 games. Now, don't get me wrong. It is nice to have backwards compatibility. I feel you guys. I feel you. I just understand why Sony is doing this, and I kind of agree with it more because, once again, I think it's way more important to have games that run correctly on your new system than have old games working on your new system. You see what I'm saying? But yes, it is nice to have backwards compatibility. It's nice to have that all-in-one system, which ironically is what, pretty much all three, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, that's pretty much what they're all trying to do, is kind of have that all-in-one system. So it is funny and it is kind of ironic, but at the same time, I think it's a lot more important. It makes a lot more sense to have games like, for example, Watch Dogs. Games like that, a new third-party game. I think it's more important to have that game running correctly on the PS3 than to have Uncharted 3, a game that you've already played on your PS3, running on the PS4. You see what I'm saying? Like, what if they did a cell chip 2 for the PS4, right? And developers like, oh shit, like, we don't know how to do this. Just like it's a PS3 all over again. This is, even more confusing now. So Watch Dogs comes out, PS4, Wii U, 720, right? 720 version, PC as well, but far as I'm keeping it home consoles. 720 PS4, Wii U. 720 version running buddy smooth, not a lot of pop-ins, graphics looking great, good frame rate, all that. Sound, everything's good, not that glitchy. Wii U, same thing, great frame rate, everything is solid, running good. PS4 version, it's all glitchy and, shit's all, fucked up and just problems everywhere and it's crashing, it's freezing, all this shit, right? Who do you think is gonna look bad right out the gate more? The Wii U, even though it's not really right out the gate yet, but it's still new. This is its first full year. 720, which will be launch. PS4, which will be launch. That'll make the PS4 look bad. It's coming out the gate with these shitty ports, where the the 720 and the Wii U versions are just fine. But then for some reason that PlayStation version is crappy. Which version do you think people are going to buy? They're going to buy it on the Nintendo or the 720, which, don't get me wrong, people are going to do that regardless, but you're going to see more people do that, which Sony does not want that shit to happen again. Because we saw what happened with the PS3. They're trying to avoid that shit as much as they can. And that's why, I understand and agree with that more. Now, what I'm about to get into, I kind of side more with you guys, so I'm about to, I guess, damage control for y'all, or whatever you want to say, when it comes to downloads. Now, I'm not a game developer, I'm not, a guru of specs, so you guys let me know, maybe it's something that I'm just not getting for what I'm about to say. When it comes to downloads, like, let's say, for example, I downloaded Uncharted 2. Let's say I don't have the Blu-ray copy. Let's say I have it downloaded on PSN on my hard drive on my PS3, right? And let's say, my PS3, let's say it just ironically breaks the same day the PS4 comes out. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just go ahead and I'll just get a PS4. Fuck it. get a PS4, I sign in, same account, same name, all friend list, everything like that's the same, right? I go into the store on my new PlayStation, my PlayStation 4, I go into the, PSN store or whatever, right? Go my download list, click Uncharted 3 and it's saying, oh, it's not working. Because apparently on some YouTube videos I've been watching, people are saying, I don't remember Sony saying this, but I mean, I believe it though. Sony basically isn't gonna allow the downloads to work either. And apparently, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is supposed to be all downloads, not just the PS3 downloads, but like, say, like Journey, Fat Princess, PS1 games like Crash Bandicoot, GTA Vice City, like PS2 games, everything. Apparently, you can't re-download that on the PS4. It has to be PS4 down, like PS4 exclusives pretty much, or if they re-release it or whatever. My thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a developer, I'm not, anything like that, but couldn't they just have some kind of like software update for the PS4 that would like change the down, like when you go into the PS4 store or whatever, and that rhymed, and like when you click on the digital download, couldn't they just change it to where the digital download would work with the new architecture, since it is digital? I mean, like I said, I could be wrong, and maybe they could do the same thing with the PS4 or PS3 discs as well. But to me, a disc, it just seems more permanent, because maybe it's just because it's something physical, whereas a download is obviously digital. It seems to me that doesn't make as much sense, but maybe there's just something that I don't know. But we've already seen this before, which I forget who it was, the YouTube video I was watching. This guy, he pointed this out as well. We've already seen this happen with the PSP and the Vita. Like, let's say I buy like on UMD Final Fantasy versus Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core is what I meant to say. Wow, you can tell what game I'm thinking about, but Final Fantasy Crisis Core, right? And I go and I buy a Vita or whatever, right? I obviously can't play the UMD on my Vita, but let's say I think Crisis Core you can download. Let's say maybe I downloaded it instead, or say my friend, let's say he downloaded it instead, and he also got a Vita. You can still download or re-download PSP games to the Vita, because like, for example, for me, this is a real life example. I had downloaded Ghost of Sparta. I think it's one of the last games I actually bought from my original PSP. I downloaded Ghost of Sparta, right? When I got my Vita, I re-downloaded it for free on my Vita, and that works. But apparently, with the PS4, you can't do that with the PS3. To me, that's weird. Now, the UMD thing, I understand, because obviously the Vita doesn't read UMDs, just like how the PS4 doesn't have a cell chip. Yeah. So to me, that just seems strange that you can't download PS3 games onto the PS4 or whatever. So this video's going on long enough, but yeah, had to get a little damage control in there for my PS3 PlayStation fans. I ain't forgot about y'all, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments section. I guarantee about 60% of the comments is gonna be you guys hating or saying I'm a fanboy, even though those 4 or 5 videos I made defending and damage controlling for Nintendo, 90% of you guys were, on my side praising me, and, some of you guys even subscribed. But yeah, we'll see what you guys' reactions are. It should be pretty interesting. But yeah, if I miss anything, I'll make a part 2. Just got off of work, so I'm kind of tired, but I just had to go ahead and say that real quick. So while it's still in my head or whatever, but yeah, let me go ahead and get up out of here. And yeah, thanks for listening. And this is your boy Bobby W223. Keep it greasy.
I think we should be able to make it through there. It's gonna be a tight fit, but come on.
Okay.
You find me something to climb on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, shit!
Joel!
I'm alright! Are you okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me! I'm gonna climb down there, okay?
No! Stay out there! I'll make my way up to you!
Don't do anything stupid!
I'll try.
PlayStation